If you're not getting at least 100 views to your Etsy shop in a 30-day period, you likely have an SEO problem, and that's why we are going to be talking about how the Etsy algorithm works, so how they decide what products to even show on the first page of search results. And if you are not getting views, I'm going to be telling you 5 of the most common problems that I see and the solution to that problem so you can start getting views to your Etsy shop. Most new sellers list their digital product and wonder why it's crickets. But Etsy is a search engine, so you need to be catering to the Etsy algorithm so they will promote your products for you and you don't have to post TikTok videos 3 times a day or post on your Instagram stories 5 times a day. I get over 3,000 views to my Etsy shop every single month with only 42 digital products in my Etsy shop, and that is because I focused on SEO, and that's how I've been able to make over $26,000, almost $27,000 selling digital products on Etsy as a stay-at-home mom, only working while my kids are sleeping. So let me scroll back over here and I'm going to show you how the Etsy algorithm works so that you understand how to get Etsy to promote your products for you. The Etsy algorithm is designed to show customers whatever it is that they type into the Etsy search bar. So here I am over on the Etsy home screen. If I was a customer and I was looking for a homeschool planner and I type that into the Etsy search bar, Etsy's only goal is to show me homeschool planners. And so that is what it's mostly going to show me. Homeschool planner, homeschool planner, homeschool planner, homeschool planner. That is what Etsy is. It's a search engine. And the goal of Etsy as a search engine is to show the customer what it is they are searching for. And you need to make sure that you are using the right terminology and phrases to show up when someone types in whatever it is you're making. So if you have a homeschool planner, you need to make sure you have, look, homeschool planner in your product title down here, okay? That is how Etsy knows what your product is. So let's go over a few things in the Etsy algorithm that they look for so your products can show up on the first page of search results. The very first thing that the Etsy algorithm looks for to show your product on the first page of search results is relevance. And what they mean by relevance for digital products is, do you have the keywords that the person is typing into the Etsy search bar? Is that in your title, so your product title, and is that in your product tags? So back over here on Etsy, let me scroll down here and show you what a product title is. So this is a product title. All of this is your product title, and we need to know if you are trying to show up for the keyword homeschool planner, because that's what you've created. We need homeschool planner in your title. So look how many times they have homeschool planner in here, which is a little overkill. They don't need to have it this many times. As long as you have it one time in there, Etsy knows that this is a homeschool planner. And so you want to make whatever your main keyword is, it needs to be right in the very beginning. So your very first keywords up here are going to hold the most weight. That is going to tell Etsy exactly what your product is. So let's say you had a digital daily journal, you would want this to say digital daily journal right here in the front. That's how you are going to be more relevant to Etsy, is by having whatever the keyword is that you want to show up for, having it right here in the very beginning of your product title. And I'm using Everbee, so if I click Analyze Listing, I can go down here and see the tags. Your tags are also important for relevance, and you'd want to have homeschool, some type of homeschool planner. There we go. Homeschool planner should also be in your tags. So you want to put it in your tags, and you want your main keyword to be in your product title. And that way that just more solidifies to Etsy that this is a homeschool planner. And then another place you can put your keywords is down here in your description. And here they go. Homeschool planner. You want your main keywords to be in your product title up here, your product tags, which I just showed you using Everbee, and your product description. And that is going to show that this is relevant to whatever the person is searching for. So this is how you increase your relevance on Etsy, is by using the keywords that a customer may type into the Etsy search bar to find this product. The second factor in the Etsy algorithm is your quality score. Your quality score is just how often someone sees your listing photo. So whenever you type something into the Etsy search bar, all of those are listing photos. So how often someone sees your listing photo, which would be considered a view, compared to how often someone clicks on your listing photo. And that would be a visit. So when someone just sees your listing photo on, let's say, the search results page, that is considered a view. whenever they click on your listing photo and go into your Etsy shop to see all of the rest of your listing photos, that is a visit. And so Etsy is seeing, okay, we had 100 people see this listing photo and nobody clicked it. So there's a problem with this listing. So you're going to get a lower quality score. But if we have 100 people see your listing photo and 5 people click it, then you're going to have a higher quality score. So that is one of the factors that Etsy is looking at whenever they're determining what types of products to show on the first page of search results, is how many people are seeing this listing photo compared to how many people are actually clicking it. And then even further, how many of those people that clicked it actually went on to buy. And so all of that is in your quality score. The third factor Etsy looks at whenever they're trying to decide which products to show on the first page of search results is going to be performance. And this is your shop's overall performance. So what is your shop's overall rating? Do you have 4.9 out of 5 stars? What is your product's individual rating? So does this product have 2 stars out of 5? Then we're not really going to want to promote that one because people aren't liking it. And so that's one thing Etsy is looking at, is how is this shop performing? Because they don't want to promote bad products. And so we want to mainly promote products that have mostly 5-star ratings. And we also want to mostly promote shops where the owner of that shop is replying to messages. Etsy doesn't want to be showing your products and a customer has a problem with it and you're not even responding to messages or there to help that customer, because now you're causing issues for Etsy and their support. And so we want to make sure that you are active in your shop and your shop is performing well. It has mostly 5-star reviews because people are enjoying your products. And the fourth factor that can determine where you show up in Etsy search results is buyer behavior. One thing I noticed that people don't really get, especially new Etsy sellers, is that everyone's first page of search results is different. So if you type in homeschool planner, your first page of search results can look completely different than my first page of search results. And so it's not a universal first page results. Everyone's results are different because Etsy is looking at your behavior. And so if you've interacted with certain types of products, Etsy is going to try to show you more products like that one so that you will make a purchase. And so the products I interact with is going to be different than the products you interact with. And so I'll have a lot of new people come into the sales sprint, which is my mentorship program, and they'll say, hey, I'm showing up on the first page of search results. But what they don't understand is that they're showing up on the first page of their search results because they are interacting with their shop. And so I show up on the first page of my search results too because I'm interacting with my shop. And so it's not universal. So you have no idea how often Etsy is promoting your products. You don't really know how often you're showing up on the first page of search results because it's different for every buyer. And so that's why it's important to look at your analytics so you can see how many views you're getting, how many visits you're getting, because that's going to be the true number to look at instead of just looking at your first page of search results and thinking that you're not showing up. So these are 4 things that Etsy is looking at whenever they're determining which products to promote, which products to show up on the first page of search results, or if you're scrolling under a listing, there's a section that says you may also like. So Etsy is promoting your products in all types of different places. There's offsite ads, and so I'll link a video up at the top where I go into more detail about SEO so you can see all of the factors that Etsy is looking at and even more ways to get your products to show up. But these are the ones that I want you to really understand because the first 3, we have control over that. Like we have control over the keywords we're using. We have control over our listing photos to make sure someone clicks on them. And we have control over our shop performance so we can improve the performance of our shop. And then number 4 is the behavior. A lot of people don't know that each search results page is different based on buyer behavior. And so that's why I included these 4. But there are more factors that Etsy looks at. And so I'll link to a video where I go in depth on SEO and you can have a better idea of how to show up on the first page of Etsy search results. Now let's hop into the 5 most common problems I see that people are not getting views to their Etsy shop, and I'm going to help you solve those problems so that you can start getting more views, which can hopefully turn into more sales. Now, the very first problem is what we already went over, and that is SEO. Etsy is a search engine. So whenever I went over to Etsy and I typed in a homeschool planner, we saw that all of those people had homeschool planner in their product title. and that is where you want to put it. That's your SEO. That's a keyword. So keywords are what people type into the Etsy search bar. You want to have those keywords in your product title, your product tags, and your product description. And so, how to improve this is by using better keywords. You want your keywords to have lower competition, which is why I like to use Everbee because it shows me keywords that have a high keyword score. So, here we are back on our homeschool planner example. When I use Everbee and go to analyze listing and I go down to the tags that they are using, see this one here has a high keyword score. So that means the volume is good. So that the volume is how many people are searching for this compared to the competition. So how many listings are using the same keyword? It wants to have a higher search volume and lower competition, and that's how you get a higher keyword score. And that's how you're going to stand out because you want to be using keywords that people are searching for, but not very many people are using. And so 2024 Teacher Planner, that has a high keyword score, and probably 2025 Teacher Planner would have a high keyword score. So anytime you can include the year, you are probably going to increase your chances of getting seen on Etsy because you're more relevant, you're more timely. This is what you want with your keywords is a higher search volume and a low competition. And so that's why I like using Everbee because it shows me if the keyword score is high. And even these that don't say high, this is still pretty good. So the competition is still under 10,000 and the volume is almost 600 searches. And so this is homeschool schedule. What you want to do is use keywords that people are going to type into the Etsy search bar as your tags. So someone could go to the Etsy search bar and type in 2024 Teacher Planner. They could go there and type in homeschool schedule. They could go there and type in Good Notes Planner. These are all really good keywords because anytime someone searches for a note shelf planner, this product could show up. Anytime someone searches for academic planner, this product could show up. And so that's what your tags are. You want them to be things that people are actually searching on Etsy or that they could type into the Etsy search bar. And a few ways to do that is to just click up here and you could just type in homeschool and see what Etsy gives you because these are things that people are searching for. And so any of these could be good to put as your tags. Or if you scroll down to the bottom of a listing and you get to the section that says explore related searches, these are also things that Etsy is telling you people are searching for. And so these are also good ideas to include in your tags. And then you want to repeat those tags in your product title and you want to repeat that in your product description. And so that way Etsy is positive what your product is so they can show it to the correct people who are looking for your product. But what you do not want to do is include your shop name as a tag because we don't know your shop name. We don't know you. So don't waste a tag including your shop name or just including one word tags like planner, homeschool, schedule, lesson, digital. Those are wasted tags. You want long tags because no one is going to the Etsy search bar and typing in lesson. Like that you want to put what people are searching for. So yes, someone could type in homeschool lesson planner. Okay, let's do that as a tag. That probably is actually too long, but as long as you have homeschool lesson and planner in your tags, Etsy can put them together. But don't just do them individually because you're going to be wasting tags that you could have used for other things that people are searching for. So make your tags keywords that people could actually type into the Etsy search bar to find your product. The second problem that stops people from getting views on Etsy is their engagement. And what I mean by engagement is how many people are seeing your listing photo compared to how many people are clicking your listing photo. And so that's your engagement, and that's what Etsy is looking for. They do not want to show products that people are not engaging with. And so the way to fix this problem is going to be by having better listing photos. And this is why in the sales sprint, phase 3 is all about listing photos because if you have very bad listing photos that no one is engaging with, you're going to struggle to get views. And if no one is viewing your product, no one can buy it. That's why I've made listing photos an entire phase or section in the sales sprint with the multiple tutorials showing you how to create really good scroll stopping listing photos that get clicked and turn into sales. You want to make sure that your thumbnail listing photo, which is the very first listing photo that shows up on search results, that is your thumbnail listing photo. We want that one to be so good, people stop scrolling and they click it. And that's going to increase your engagement. And that is going to tell Etsy, hey, this is a good product. Let's show it to more people. So that's the second thing you want to fix if you're not getting views to your products. Now, the third problem kind of ties into the second problem, and that is going to be your conversion rate. So if people are clicking your very first thumbnail listing photo that they see on Etsy, but they're not turning into buyers, then we need to fix this. And most of the time, it's because people do not see the value in your product. They don't know why they would want to buy this. So how do you increase the value of your product? So this is the perceived value. So when someone sees your listing photos, they are thinking, okay, I would love this, but there's some type of reason that they're not buying. So how do we increase the value of your product so that they go ahead and make a purchase? There are a couple of ways to do this. The first way is to make sure that your pricing matches. You want your pricing to be competitive to similar products. And so if we have a homeschool planner that is $6, then we don't want to come in and price ours at $12 and then complain that we're not making sales when everyone else's is around $6 and theirs probably includes more than ours. So why would someone spend $12 to get less value? That doesn't make sense. That's why you need to know the prices of the other products that are similar to yours so that you can price competitively. If theirs is $6 and yours includes pretty much the same things as theirs, then you want yours to be around $6 too. But if theirs is just like 50 pages and that's all it is just a basic homeschool planner and it's $6, and yours has like a homeschool planner and it has all of these other bells and whistles to it, then yes, go ahead and charge $12 because your product is better than theirs. It includes more. And so they will see the value in your product over the person where they're just kind of getting the bare minimum. And so, yes, you can charge more for that if it has more perceived value. And so you want to make sure that you're checking your pricing to make sure that it is competitive. That's one way to increase the perceived value of your product. Another way to do this is by offering some type of bonus in your product. So they could get your product and it could be, let's say you're doing around $6 just like the other products, but yours includes a bonus. So with your product that's also around $6, they could get the homeschool planner, but they could also get bonus routine cards because that's something that goes with it. So when you're homeschooling, you're at home and we need to create a routine. And so, yeah, you get the homeschool planner, but for the same price, you're also getting these bonus routine cards for free. And so that can help you stand out and increase the perceived value of your product because the other person, theirs is $6, but they only get the homeschool planner. Yours is $6 and it includes more pages and a bonus. So now your product is more valuable than their product, which can help you increase your sales. So those are just a few simple ways to increase the perceived value of your product. And I have even more ways. I actually have an entire bonus section in the sales sprint of advanced sales strategies so that you can increase your sales by doing small hacks like including a bonus with your product to make it more valuable than the other products similar to yours. The fourth reason I see people not getting views to their Etsy shop is inactivity. If you've listed one or two products and then you stop completely showing up on Etsy, you're not responding to messages, you're not doing anything with your shop, then Etsy isn't really going to want to promote your products because you're not active on the platform. I've noticed when I am active on the platform that I tend to get more views. So whenever I am running sales or I'm going in and updating my old products or adding new products, just doing something, updating my announcement, doing something on the Etsy platform so that they know that I am an active seller, I tend to get more views to my Etsy shop. And so you want to make sure that you are consistently showing up. And by consistency, I don't mean that you need to be in your Etsy shop every single day doing something, but at least once a week, just go in there and update an old product or add a new product or do something, update your announcement, do something where Etsy knows that you are still active in your shop and you're still working on it. And so that's just a small way to help you get more views to your Etsy shop because Etsy knows that you are an active seller. And the fifth reason that I see people struggling to get views to their Etsy shop, and this is one that is super duper common, is demand. And what I mean by demand is you are creating products that people don't want. You may have skipped the research phase to see what are the best-selling items that people are actually searching for and buying, and you just might have created products that no one wants. And so that's why in phase one of the sales sprint, I show you how to create products that people actually want to buy. So you don't have this problem of low demand. You are creating high demand products that have low competition. That is going to be the fastest way to stand out, is by creating products that people actually want, that are not too competitive. And so the solution here is going to be doing your research. In the sales sprint, I include video tutorials showing you how to use eRank to do your product research, and I show you how to use Everbee to do your product research. And there's also a video showing you how you can do free product research just using Etsy. And so I show you, I think there's 9 different ways to do product research so you can find these best-selling digital products that have low competition. So that is in phase one of the sales sprint. Make sure you watch those tutorials so you can see how to create products that have high demand, so you don't have to worry about people not wanting your products. If someone isn't buying your product, then it's most likely going to be an SEO problem or a listing photo problem, because you know that people want these products. And so whenever you've crossed this off, you've done your research, then you know that this isn't an issue for you, because other people have best-selling digital products just like yours, but for some reason people aren't buying yours, so there's a problem with something else. So definitely make sure you are doing your research and listing products that have a high search volume, low competition, so that you are able to stand out and you know you are creating products that people are actively buying. So these are 5 of the most common reasons I see why people are not getting views to their Etsy shop, and these are the simple ways to solve those problems. In the sales sprint, I show you exactly how to solve each of these individual problems so that you can increase your sales without needing to use outside platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, or any of those. Etsy will promote your products for you. And I know a lot of people think that they need to use Etsy ads to get more views to their products, but in this video, I share with you why I do not recommend you use ads as a brand new Etsy seller, and 5 different ways that you can make sales without running ads. So go ahead and watch this video next to see what you can do besides running ads to increase your views and the sales to your Etsy shop.